Warning. Censorship. Warning.
Over the weekend, tens of thousands rallied in Sydney to protest the ongoing and escalating New South Wales lockdown. And like clockwork, the media demonised and vilified all who attended the Freedom Day rally by focusing in on a tiny minority misbehaving. But we all knew that was going to happen. So Rebel News actually sent a camera crew to at least bring you the other side of the story. We don't yet have a reporter on the ground to conduct interviews as I do in Melbourne. So if you think you have what it takes and you're based in Sydney, please send us your resume and maybe a short video of you conducting interviews to careers@rebelnews.com. For now though, watch and share what our camera crew captured, including the heartbreaking pleas from everyday Aussies of all backgrounds.
To be honest with you, I didn't know that today was going to be running at all. I was going for a drive and I heard on the radio that there was a few roads blocked and some protesting going on. I have no idea who organised this today because there's way too many people here for it to be sudden.
We heard about this not from the TV but through word of mouth. Word of mouth spreads faster than the news.
When I saw that in the street, I was almost crying.
It was extraordinary when we saw people just coming out of every side street out onto the park.
We're here today to represent the people that don't have the courage to come out and stand up for their rights.
We're the voice for everyone.
It's very simple. Welcome to the socialist nation of Australia. We won't let that happen. There's only one right here, and it's called freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of speech. And some people have been arguing for years about it's my body, my choice.
I believe in freedom. We are meant to mix, we are meant to move around, and we are stopped by all this propaganda.
Now there's going to be a segregation, a divide. This is not okay. We deserve a choice, not manipulation and bullying. Like, why is there this much force on something?
Anything that is good for us should be out of our own free will.
We're living in a time where we're being bullied by the media bureaucrats and we shouldn't be. I mean, who gets to dictate that?
Any dissenting type narrative has been blocked from the media, and anyone who talks negatively about lockdowns and all that appears to be blocked. Facebook will tell you it's potentially misleading information.
It's not even up for discussion. They feel entitled to put all these things in place without public debate going on. It's all, under the guise of public health, anti-terrorism. Anyone who has a critique of the government is labelled a terrorist in this kind of climate. It's really concerning.
Because I'm a disability nurse and I'm going to lose the job that I love of 9 years because they're mandating this within the health industry. So many people in my industry are on board with me. I'm in health care, so that for me is a no-no.
Don't force it on people. You want to take it, take it. What's the point? Like, who cares about it, man? Australia's a free country, man. It's a beautiful country. They're all in our country. Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to pay the mortgage? The bank still wants their money. There's no hope for the younger generation locking us down. There's no hope for anyone.
People are dying from suicide and depression.
You don't hear about that, do you?
What's going to happen to the suicide rates as the time goes by? What's going to happen to the people who can't afford to pay their rent? What's going to happen to the people who don't have the freedom of medical choice?
We're all just out here trying to get our jobs back, trying to get our lives back. 2 weeks to slow the spread, or 18 months, and we'll just keep ticking over as long as we feel like. It felt like about 10 million people, but realistically it was probably about 10,000. The whole of Broadway was shut down. Yeah, we're all moving in one direction. Men with drums, megaphones, lots of signage.
I've come here today to join with these tens of thousands of people for our freedom, for our right to choose. And so I'm hoping that this is enough to at least spark a discussion, an open discussion. Even if it's one person's reality and another person's reality, that we can come together and dialogue about it.
I'm just another member of society that would like to protest against this infringement of our freedoms.
Both of us are holistic health practitioners, and we've just had enough of this business of knowing what's wrong for our clients and for people's well-being in relation to mask mandates. most of us have to follow along with this narrative just to keep practicing. And the other thing is, we're standing in freedom, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. We stand in peace and in love. Yeah.
Basically here only because we had enough of the government lying to us. We have enough that people are believing the government and watching the zombie TV every single day. And we have to be free. We have to have a choice of freedom. So let's just everyone open their eyes and actually find the right information. The information is open for you.
We think we have the right to protest in this country. Special, we came to this country, I came here, she was born here, to have a freedom. We didn't have any freedom in our country. How come Black Lives Matter protest happened and it was allowed? That's my concern. Why is that allowed and why is this not allowed? This is freedom of speech. This is freedom for our rights. Whatever religion you are, we should come together and stand together. Enough is enough. Exactly. This is not democracy country anymore. Listen, people, wake up. Just don't fear. Don't be scared. Whatever they say, do not be afraid. That's the main part. That's what they want to kill us with fear. We don't even need 7 News, 9 News. It's all fake. Fake media, fake news.
With the things that are being put in place, it seems quite clear that we're not a free country anymore. And that's really disturbing. Anyone who's, survived communist regimes and things like that, there are very telling signs with what's going on now that are concerning for the future. Once they put these things in place, how can they bring things back from this?
Look, a generation ago, our mothers and fathers fought and died to preserve our freedoms. A generation ago we thought it was worth sacrificing millions of lives for the sake of preserving those freedoms. Now we throw away those freedoms for the sake of preserving lives. Presumably, we don't want to live in a country where they have electronic surveillance on you, where they can tell you when you come in and when you go out, if you can go to work, who you can associate with, whether you're able to embrace people. I've lost a good friend to the virus, not in Syria, not in Australia. I've known 7 people who've suicided over this period. The real cost of the lockdowns. I've never believed that what is driving government policy is primarily a concern for our health. If it was, there would be more account taken at the other side of that equation, of the cost of the lockdowns, the cost on mental health, the cost on jobs, the rise in domestic violence, all the associated ills, which the government will never be held responsible for, but which are real and which are damaging and which are destroying us and destroying our community. And I think this is what these lockdowns do. They strip us of our humanity. They break down community and they destroy the country we fought for, the country we love, the values we cherish. We need to stand up and fight, not violently, but we need to be ready to have violence done to us, I suspect, by police and others. We've got to be ready to count the cost, as our mothers and our fathers did when they fought to give us these freedoms. It's time for us now to stand up and fight to preserve them.
If you found that as powerful as I did, make sure that you share it far and wide. And again, if you think you have what it takes to be our reporter on the ground in Sydney, please film yourself in a short clip interviewing someone. Show us your ability and send it to careers@rebelnews.com ASAP.